Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Razia and I'm here to help you make better skincare choices. Subscribe down below, hit the notification bell to be notified of my weekly uploads, and you can also find me over on Instagram and TikTok as well. Today we're talking about everyone's favorite skincare ingredient, and that's retinol. Or is it retinoid? Or retin-A? All of these terms actually fall under the same umbrella, and that's vitamin A, also known as retinoids. Retinoids are a gold standard skincare ingredient. They're very well researched and have many benefits for the skin, mainly known for their anti-aging and acne clearing benefits. There's a lot of attention surrounding retinoids and the benefits they have for your skin, and because of this, there's a lot of people that want to use them and want to incorporate it into their skincare routine. But when you do start to look into it and try and find a retinoid product that would be good for you, it can get a little bit confusing. There is a lot of different types of retinoid products out there, a lot of different information out there, so in this video I'm just going to break everything down and make it really nice and easy to understand. I'm going to go over the different types of retinoids, the benefits of retinoids, how to use retinoids safely in your skincare routine, and of course I'm going to go over some product recommendations as well. To start with, I'm going to break down exactly what vitamin A is and what it does for the skin. So vitamin A, or retinoids, are a group of ingredients that include things like retin-A and retinol and retinoic acid and retinaldehyde and all of those different terms that you hear of. Vitamin A is a compound that is already found in our bodies. It does its work in there. You can also get vitamin A from food, but in order for your skin to get the benefits of vitamin A, it needs to be applied topically. In order for this vitamin A to have any benefit to your skin, it has to be converted into retinoic acid. Retinoic acid is actually the active ingredient found in tretinoin and adapalene and these other prescription strength skincare products. So it goes without saying that tretinoin and adapalene and that family of retinoid products are the strongest available. So that's your prescription level retinoid products covered, but what about all the over-the-counter stuff, and what about those other vitamin A derivatives I mentioned? So starting from the strongest, we have retinoic acid, then we have retinaldehyde, retinol, and then retinol esters. The difference between retinaldehyde, retinol, and retinol esters is the number of steps it takes to convert into retinoic acid. Retinaldehyde is one step away from being converted into retinoic acid. Retinol is a two-step conversion. It first has to be converted into retinaldehyde, and that retinaldehyde has to then be converted into retinoic acid. And then we have retinol esters, and they first have to be converted into retinol, then retinaldehyde, and then finally retinoic acid before they can be used by the skin. So it goes without saying that tretinoin, containing pure retinoic acid, is the strongest type of retinoid product, followed on by retinaldehyde products, retinol products, and then retinol esters products. I hope I haven't lost you. I hope I'm still making sense. That's all the complicated science stuff out of the way. That's just to help you understand the differences between the different types of retinoid products that are out there on the market. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can focus on talking about the benefits that vitamin A products have to the skin. The main effect that using retinoids has to the skin is that it speeds up the rate of your skin cell turnover, and it also stimulates collagen production in the skin. So your skin usually sheds every 30 days, but if you're using a retinoid, this can increase and your skin will shed every 14 to 21 days. So it's quite a bit faster. With that increased skin cell turnover, we're getting rid of that top layer of skin a lot more frequently. So that comes with a lot of good benefits. You start to see an evenness in your skin tone, there's improvements in your skin texture, reduction in hyperpigmentation because the skin is moving out a lot faster. Retinoids can also balance the skin sebum production and unclog pores, and that's part of the reason why you see such good benefits for acne-prone skin. We also know that retinoids help with anti-aging and they improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and that's because they stimulate collagen production in the skin. When we get to our mid-20s and beyond, collagen production really starts to decrease in the skin, so by using retinoids, we keep stimulating that collagen production, keeps the skin nice and plump, and really helps to smooth out those fine lines and wrinkles. I think now that you've heard all the benefits, you're starting to understand why retinoids are just so popular and why everyone absolutely swears by them. But if you are going to start using a retinoid and you're expecting to see changes in your skin within a week or two, you're going to be disappointed. Retinoids are a long time game. If you're already using retinoids, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. Consistency and patience are going to be the two most important things when it comes to using a retinoid. It takes time for those changes to start happening in your skin, and when I talk time, I mean months, at least 2 to 3 months before you start to see those significant changes in the skin. All of these vitamin A derivatives will give you the results that you want to see in your skin, but the main difference between these different derivatives is obviously the strength of them and how long it takes for these benefits to start showing up. But don't let that deter you from using the more gentle forms of retinoids, because you know what, it might actually be worth your while because for all the benefits that retinoids have for our skin, unfortunately they do come with their drawbacks. Of course, it was starting to get a little bit too good to be true, don't you think? The first main side effect that can happen when using retinoids is the dryness and the potential irritation that may occur when you first start using retinoids. This is a short-term side effect, it's completely normal, it happens to a lot of people, so don't let it deter you from using retinoids, and just remember that the long-term results of retinoids definitely outweigh this little side effect. This side effect is more common when using higher strength retinoid products like tretinoin, for example. So if you do want to avoid this from occurring, you want to start with a lower strength retinoid product and then you can work up your way to a higher strength. And another thing to be wary of when starting to get into retinoids is the purge. The purge is very real and very common when it comes to using retinoid products, and it can be a little bit scary, and again, it can deter a lot of people from using retinoids, but it is worth pushing through that purging stage because your skin will really thank you for it in the long run. Purging is completely normal when using skincare ingredients that are increasing the rate of cell turnover. This is because it's pushing up all of the acne and all of the pimples that would have otherwise taken a month or two to come out of the skin, and it's getting them out in a matter of weeks. And that's why you might see a bit of an explosion of breakouts on your skin when you first started using a retinoid, but it is worth waiting out this period because the results will be so worth it. Again, this is generally a lot more intense when using those higher strength retinoid products. We've got the side effects out of the way, so now let's get into how we can safely use retinoids in our skincare routines. When we start to incorporate retinoids into our skincare routine, we really want to minimize the risk of any potential irritation and dryness. The first thing we can do to minimize irritation is to start slow. So slow as in how frequently we're using the retinoid product, and also starting with a very gentle retinoid as well. So if it's your first time using retinoids in your skincare routine, you want to start with a gentle, low strength retinol serum, and you want to start using this 1 to 2 times a week. And just to start with, that would be more than enough. You really want to make sure your skin gets used to it and increase this slowly. And by gradual increase, I mean using this low strength retinol 1 to 2 times a week for at least a month before adding an extra night into that routine. Once you've used that product up, it would have taken you maybe 2 to 3 months to get through the container, then you can move on to the next level up. I mean, you could just go to the doctor and get a prescription for tretinoin, but I don't know if that would be the best plan of action. Another tip to use retinoids safely in your skincare routine is to tailor the rest of your skincare routine around the fact that you're using retinoids. So that means using a gentle cleanser that won't strip or irritate the skin in any way. You might also want to add some calming and hydrating serums into your skincare routine to help keep up the health and strength of your skin barrier, and you want to make sure you're using a really good moisturizer. If you have dry skin and you're getting on a retinoid, it is going to dry your skin out further, so you really want to make sure you're hydrating and moisturizing your skin well. Even if you do have an oilier skin type, getting on a retinoid will dry out your skin a little bit. It won't completely dry you out, but your skin will be significantly drier than you're used to. So you want to make sure you're compensating for that by using a good moisturizer and using good hydrating serums. And that way you're minimizing that flaking, that peeling, and that dryness that can occur when using retinoids. You want to also make sure you're careful with the other actives that you might be incorporating into your skincare routine. You can still use your AHAs and BHAs when using retinoids. You just don't want to be using them on the same night because that can be very irritating to the skin. Another thing would be vitamin C. You don't want to be using vitamin C and retinoids on the same night because it can be a little bit irritating to the skin. Now, there are some retinol products out there that do have vitamin C incorporated into the formula. That's completely different. They are formulated to be working well in that product together, but I'm talking in terms of layering a separate vitamin C and a separate retinoid. You don't really want to be doing that in the same routine. And another ingredient you want to make sure you're not mixing with your retinoids whatsoever is benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide and retinol actually cancel each other out, so you don't want to be using these at the same time on your skin at all. The next tip for using retinoids safely is your application. The first thing is you really do not need a lot of product when you're using retinoids. You hear the term pea-sized amount a lot, and that is very accurate. You only need a pea-sized amount, and that is more than enough for the whole face. The best thing to do would be to squeeze a pea-sized amount to the tip of your finger, and then you want to evenly dot it over the areas of your face that you're going to be applying it, and then take your fingers and spread that evenly across. And that would be the best way to apply your retinol and to make sure you're not applying too much, because too much will obviously increase your risk of irritation. I've actually got quite a couple application tips because this can really make a difference, especially for those with sensitive skin. So if you do have sensitive skin around the mouth and the eye area, before you apply your retinoid product, you want to take Vaseline or you want to take a thick moisturizer and you want to apply it to those areas. You want to apply it around your eyes and around your mouth, and then you want to go in and apply your retinoid, and be sure to avoid those areas as well. And because you've applied that moisturizer before, you've got a protective barrier there, so the retinoid won't get into that area and it won't irritate the skin. The next application tip is making sure that you apply your retinoids to dry skin. We talk a lot about applying to damp skin because damp skin increases the penetration of these skincare ingredients. You don't want to be doing this when using actives, whether that's your AHAs, your BHAs, or your retinoids. For those of you that have very sensitive skin but still want to be using a retinoid, this next application tip is for you. And that is the sandwich technique. And what it involves is applying moisturizer before applying your retinoid. So apply an even thin layer of moisturizer on the skin. You want that to sit and absorb onto the skin, and then you want to apply your retinoid on top of the moisturizer. I know this goes against all of those skincare layering rules that you've heard of. The retinoid will still be absorbed by your skin, but that absorption is really slowed down because it's been applied on top of moisturizer, and that makes it a really great way to apply retinoid for those with sensitive skin. And then once you've applied that first layer of moisturizer and then your retinoid, you want to top it off with a final layer of moisturizer, because moisturizer should always be the final step of your skincare routine. And of course, the most important thing to make sure that we're applying is using sunscreen every single day. You should already be doing this, but if you're going to be starting using a retinoid, you have to make sure you're going to be using a sunscreen every single day. The last thing I'm going to mention about retinoid safety is that retinoids are not pregnancy or breastfeeding safe, so make sure you're not using retinoids of any kind if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Now we can get into some product recommendations, and I'm going to break these down by vitamin A derivative. So first we have retinaldehyde, and if we remember, this is one step removed from retinoic acid, so it is quite strong. And I could only find one of these, and that was the Medicate Crystal Retinol products. They have a few of these at different strengths, so you do want to start with the lower one and slowly build up your tolerance, and then you can work your way up to those stronger ones. And next we have the most common vitamin A derivative, and that's retinol. Starting with a good affordable option, we have Frank Body Rewind Retinol Serum. Next we have Alpha H Vitamin A 0.5% serum. Next we have Paula's Choice. They have a couple different options. They've got the 1% booster, which has encapsulated retinol, and then you've got their clinical treatment serums as well. There's a new one that actually just arrived at Priceline, and that's from the No. 7 skincare brand. So now we've also got the No. 7 Advanced Retinol Serum. Another category that's really helpful for those that are beginners into retinoids or those with more sensitive skin are gram active retinoids. And the research basically shows that you get the same results as retinol without any of the irritation, so they are quite promising. And I've actually used gram active retinoids myself, and I really am a fan. You've got the Ordinary's gram active retinoid emulsion 2%. You've also got the Boost Lab Rewind Retinol Serum. If you're looking for something gentle to get started into your retinol journey, you might want to start with a gram active retinoid. So doing this video was as much a learning experience for me as it was for you, I hope. If you did find this video useful, please leave me a like down below and make sure you comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.